Hello everyone, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Abroad Talk Show with Noreen. So today we have Mr. Manish Jung Thapa, Student Recruitment Manager at NAVITAS. So NAVITAS has been a global leader in education and it helps students connect with higher education opportunities abroad. So we are very excited to have you here, sir. Welcome to Study Square.
Thank you so much for having me.
Alright, so I won't be taking a lot of your time, hopefully. So shall we get started?
Yeah, sure thing.
Alright, so to kickstart, let's have a quick overview of NAVITAS and its partnerships across Europe and UK.
Yeah, sure thing. Hi everyone, I'm Manish Jung Thapa, Student Recruitment Manager for NAVITAS. I handle everything that's related to UK and Europe. NAVITAS as a company, we are a global pathway provider. We help across different nations. We recruit to 13 different destinations. We have 52 global partnerships with different universities. So each year we send up to 70,000 international students to each one of our partner universities.
Wow.
So it's quite a big task. For NAVITAS UK and Europe, so we have 15 wonderful world-class universities spread across UK, Netherlands, France and Germany. So I think we'll be talking more about UK, Germany and Netherlands
definitely.
today. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so as you mentioned, like you want to focus more on Netherlands, Germany, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
Nowadays we are seeing a lot of students also opting for these particular destinations. So what do you think, like what's causing this change among students? What makes it more popular among South Asian students specifically?
Right. Yeah. So we've did quite a research and we found out that there was a lot of macro events going on all across the world. Maybe one of the biggest reasons can be a different immigration changes that's spreading across Canada and Australia. We understand that Australia, Canada has been for the longest time one of the really preferred destination for international students. But things have really changed and students are really looking for other alternatives.
Right.
And fortunately enough, we have seen a lot of surge in Netherlands and Germany in particular. I think what students are also looking forward to is a really smoothen out processes. And these two destinations provide just that. The entire process are really simple. Student can opt to stay back and pursue their career and make a really good living out of it. I think so. These reasons might be accounting for all these really recent changes and interest in these other destinations other than the popular ones.
Right. Okay, so as you mentioned, sir, like NAVITAS has a lot of partnerships, right, across the globe. So now what makes NAVITAS one of the best student recruitment companies out there?
Yeah, so we've been around for past 30 years. So it basically started with an English program and now we have really good partnership all across the world. So 70,000 students each year is a testament in itself.
Right.
So we've been around for quite a while and we understand what international students go through and what are the problems that all the students face when they land up in countries like US, UK, Netherlands, France, Germany and so forth. So we come with a vision of being empathetic with the students. We really help the students to settle down. Our international pathway program really provides the students for all the resources and amenities that they require to really further their education in their chosen countries, right? So all of this, when it comes together, I think the students get a really good experience and a lot of students, they come back and they really say that had I not done the international year program or the foundation program, life could have been really difficult. And it's really resonated with a lot of international students. And when they communicate that the same thing with the families and friends, I think that's where the reputation comes along as well. So I think these reasons really help students to get a lot of confidence in our products as well.
Right. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. So, Germany being one of the popular destinations. Now, one question that pops in my mind, and I'm sure every other student might also think of it, like, is German language compulsory to study in Germany? So, if you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, sure. So, if a student is opting for a public university, if they want to go to one of these public universities that's there in Germany, then German language is a compulsory thing, right?
Okay.
But if they are opting for a private education, for example, that's where NAVITAS comes in. We have a private partnership with two wonderful universities in Germany. So German language is not compulsory. So English is the main medium of instruction. So that's where the class is held on, and the primary means of communication is English. So German language is not compulsory. Having said that, if a students they really want to progress in the career, let's say a student is going for a business degree, then German language once they've done with their studies is really important. But I really want to highlight one thing is that in each of our universities we have dedicated staff that's there to teach students German language and German culture. And it's all inclusive of the price that they've paid, right? So imagine learning German language from a Nepali guy versus studying in Germany, having a German tutor and then learning German language. It's a vast difference.
Right. Very intimidating.
Yeah. And interesting as well because for example, we've seen a lot of students who've gone to like British Army and stuff, and we understand that their English language is not up to the par. But once they go into the UK, once they have the surrounding and the environment as such where they have to speak English, then 1-2 years down the line, then we can definitely see the visible difference. So that's the same case in Germany as well. But the thing is, German language is not compulsory. It's an optional thing, and nowhere in German embassy's website it says that German language is compulsory. It says that if you're opting for the English taught program, then German language is not compulsory. But you need to have IELTS or TOEFL. So these are the two widely approved English tests. So I would really suggest students to take an IELTS, score 5.5, not less than 5.5. That would be more than enough.
All right. Okay, so I think students can take a sigh of relief. Like German is not a compulsion if you're opting for Germany, right? And even if you want to study German, then obviously NAVITAS is there to provide the services, right? So yeah, that sounds like great news to me. So sir, what are the main intakes throughout the year, and what's the nearest upcoming intake?
So all across the board for German and Netherlands Dutch universities, we have 3 intakes. That's January, that's October, and then there's March, right? So Jan, Feb, and September, October being one of the most biggest intakes. So for the students who want to study for Germany or Netherlands, January is the nearest intake that we have. For pre-masters, for master's program is March, then September.
All right.
So these tends to be one of the biggest intakes out of all the intake that we have.
All right. So we talked about like English also being one of the major, medium of instruction over there. So IELTS, right? So IELTS and TOEFL. Besides that, do they accept Duolingo as well, or any other English proficiency tests?
Yes, for Netherlands, we unfortunately only accept IELTS. That's been it, right? For Germany, we are accepting IELTS, Duolingo, and PT as well. But I would suggest IELTS being one of the most recognized and most reverent brand. I would think IELTS would be a really good option. If a student their spoken English is really good, then either Duolingo or PT does not make any difference. All
right. Okay. So there is a chance of other tests also being accepted, given that their spoken English is good enough, right? Okay. If not, then you know where to join for our IELTS coaching classes, right? Okay. So now another major concern among students, like when they're opting for studying like in any of the study abroad destinations, is tuition, right? So how is that like tuition? Like, do they have to pay it in full, in advance, or do they have to do they have the option to pay in installments? So could you explain that as well?
Yeah. So we understand the financial burden that the parents incur when sending any students abroad, right? So we've been very cognizant about the fact, the amount of financial burden that a student is taking. So what we've done is for Netherlands, we have interestingly for second year and third year and fourth year. So we have 9 different financial plans, right? So the student can choose any of those financial plans. Student can pay upfront, student can pay in 2 installments, or they can pay in 9 installments in Netherlands, right? For Germany, what we suggest our student is to pay 25% of the tuition fees before lodging for the visa. Once the visa is there, they can pay the rest 25%, and the rest 50% can be paid once they are in the Germany, in their college or university. So that makes a lot of things really streamlined for the students as well, and we understand parents would also love this kind of flexibility regarding finances.
True. So yeah, there you have it, right? Another good news from NAVITAS's side, right? You can always pay in installments, and you have like tons of plans to choose from. So making the entire process very customized, right? So yeah, that's great. Now, speaking of money itself, like how about scholarships, any financial aid that students can compete for?
So we've been very understandable regarding the price sensitivity in regions like Nepal and rest of the South Asia. So what we've done is we've made sure that our tuition fees is already really affordable, right? So if you compare us with other private education providers, I can definitely vouch that our tuition fees are really, really affordable, right? So we do not go like spiking up the prices, then reducing it with the heavy discount. So we do not do that. So having said that, we have a lot of different scholarship schemes where the student needs to apply themselves, right? For example, in Germany, if a student wants to apply and get 2,000, 3,000 scholarship, then they need to apply themselves. There's a CV, there's a SUPI that goes into consideration. And if a student has a really brilliant SOP, they have a really good CV, and their academic progression is really amazing, then they definitely can get that scholarship. And same applies for Netherlands as well. Specifically, if a student is a female student, then they can tap into a lot of scholarship schemes that we have in both of these destinations.
Oh, that's nice. All right, so looking at like the students' demand these days, we see a lot of them opting for STEM courses.
Right.
In fact, even our counselors would recommend going for STEM courses so that, in fact, they are very future-proof, right? So like later on, even when you're looking for jobs, then it's like much easier if you're already going for such an industry-focused course. So like which institution would you suggest like for students, opting for who want to get into engineering, tech, these kind of fields?
So yeah, that's interesting for us as well. For NAVITAS, it's positioned in the market in such a way where we really push out STEM courses. Because like you mentioned, it's really future-proof, and we understand that every destinations out there, they have a skill shortage list. And most often than not, these skill shortage lists are comprised of positions like engineers, healthcare workers, healthcare managers, right? And fortunately enough for us in Germany, so we have courses in healthcare management, we have courses in electrical engineering, civil engineering, water technology, applied data science, AI, machine learning. So all that, bells and whistles we have. When talking about Netherlands, we have interesting courses like food technology, chemical engineering, and we have, the most sought after degrees like business. So it's all there. Another thing that I really want to highlight in this particular session is, like everywhere else in the world, in Germany, as of today, as we speak, the German workforce is retiring. Right? So average German is almost 61 years old, right? And that means that in the next 5 to 10 years, all these people who currently hold mid-level, high-level positions will be definitely retiring. And there's a big vacancy that we can see looming around in 5 years, 6 years down the line. And if a student, let's suppose from Nepal, he is studying maybe chemical engineering or electrical engineering or maybe civil engineering, then that person gaining a really good position in Germany is really, really heightened, right? And it really supports the student as well, because we've made things in such a way that every final semester, student can opt in for an internship and summer internship. So what it does is, they can definitely go to the career that they want to. And almost 67% of the time, those students who have an internship in that particular company is provided a job, It's a full-time job. So I think if a student is really career focused, then this particular aspect, this particular feature in our universities is really helpful, because having a really good industry connection goes a long way. Right? And if they want to really, really explore various career opportunities in UK or in Netherlands and Germany, having a placement or internship goes a long way. And fortunately for us, we have those programs in all our courses.
Right. That sounds interesting. What about which uni would you recommend for such students opting for STEM programs?
Okay. If a student wants to really foray into sectors like supply chain, cybersecurity, computer science, then I would suggest Lancaster University, because globally it's 121st. Right? It's really premium university. You're getting basically a British degree in Germany, in Leipzig. And if a student is opting for supply chain degree, then we have a really special connection with Amazon. Right? Then we have a feeder network that goes into Amazon. So a lot of supply chain graduates, they definitely go to Amazon and pursue the career. So that's there, right? For all the other STEM degrees, I would suggest SRH University of Applied Sciences. It's one of the biggest applied sciences university in Germany. So we are not located in a nook and corner. It's a really big facility. The main campus is in Heidelberg. But it's really interesting to know that student can definitely opt out and study in other destinations as well. For example, we have universities spread across 6 different cities. So we have Heidelberg, we have Frankfurt, we have Berlin, we have North Rhine, we have Dresden. So all these destinations are open for the students, right? For example, definitely if a student is applying, studying engineering, then the opportunities are really, really high if they go to cities like Berlin and Frankfurt. So we have that option as well. So yeah, STEM degree, I would opt for SRH, and everything other than STEM, I would offer Lancaster.
That sounds nice. All right, so another major concern especially among families, parents, right, when they're sending their children abroad is about accommodation.
Definitely.
So how about that? Are there any on-campus accommodation, available in the universities that NAVITAS is partnering with? Or if not, are there any services that such universities provide or NAVITAS provides, right, for students to look for housing nearby? So yeah, how about that?
Yeah, like I said before, we really understand the plight that students go through once they step into a different nation. So we've very empathized with the situation, and what we've done is we have a dedicated accommodation team that helps students to find off-campus accommodation. But if a student wants to explore on-campus accommodation, we also have that in Heidelberg. Like I said, it's a really big campus. It's a campus driven town as well, so we have a lot of different options as well. So our accommodation fees, it starts from 144 euro per week and can go up to 200 euros per week, and it's all inclusive. The heating, the electricity, like the water, the internet, it's all taken care of, and you are in a really safe space. There's a lot of security around, and I would definitely suggest first timers who are going abroad, I think they need to at least have 6 or 7 months of accommodation booked for them, because it gives them a really long time to settle in, understand the space that they're in right now, right? So for international students, we have definitely a lot of options to choose from, either on campus or off campus, and we have a dedicated accommodation team that can help them maneuver and find out the option that's really best fit for them.
Right. Again, that sounds great to me, and I'm sure even the parents will be very relieved, right? Once, and that shows why they trust NAVITAS so much, right? So, okay, that said, what's the offer turnaround time, sir? Like if the student opts for a university from NAVITAS, so till when then can they expect the offer?
So we've understand that for regions like Nepal, turnaround time is really important factor, right? Because student can get really nervous if the turnaround time is more than 5 days or 6 days. So what we've done is for Nepal region, we have expedited everything. For example, if a student applies today, so they can get offer letter in 3 working days. So we are not calculating Saturday and Sundays, obviously, right? But 3 working days is really amazing. If you talk about other options in Europe, sometimes I've heard that offer letter can take up to 30 days, 35 days. So offer turnaround time is really amazing. 2 to 3 days is the maximum. And if the offer is not within your email in the next 3 or 4 days, then I'm the one who will be chasing offer, turnaround times and stuff. So I'm in Nepal right now, so that also goes to saying that we are really dedicated, really explore the market.
So if you don't get the offer within 3 days, you know who to talk to then. So, all right. So another very major aspect of for when it comes to international students is post-study work rights, right? So how about that? How does NAVITAS help students with such opportunities? To look for jobs, because again, when you're in a whole new country, everything is intimidating, right? It's you have to step outside your comfort zone and fend for yourself in such a new environment. So how does NAVITAS come into the picture?
So there's a lot of things that we do as an institution to help sure that a student is job ready or market ready once they're done with the degrees. So primarily what we do is we have a dedicated staff, a dedicated team under careers department. So what they do is again, student needs to be really proactive and go and
definitely
talk to the careers department team. And what they will do is they will make sure that you are job ready. They will teach you culture. They will teach you how to appear in job interviews. They'll do a series of mock interviews round. They will assess your CV. They will assess your offer letter and stuff. Sorry. And what it does is, imagine a student is in that rigor for the next 4 years, right? So the tendency of that particular student getting a full-time job is really heightened because that particular student has gone to all the rigor for the next 4 years, right? Another thing that what we've done is we've ensured strategically that for every every courses that we provide in our institutions, we made sure that we have internship attached to that, right? So that gives a student a really industrial experience, what actually it is to work in like different setting and scenarios.
True.
And these two things, it combines and makes sure that a student is really job ready, and they know the culture, they know how the ins and out of the businesses. So that's been there, right? Another thing that we really do and really support is we bring in industry leaders into our institutions. For example, you can have sometimes a director of Amazon coming into your schools. You can have a regional directors of Microsoft coming into your schools. So all these people, once they come into the school, the student, their horizon is really broadened.
Right.
They can really dream big, right? And these three aspects, I think, goes a long way to really make sure the student is industry ready.
Right.
And our 97% graduate outcome also goes on to prove that students really get jobs when they're done with their studies. So in Nepal, I've heard a lot of times students really inquire about the tuition fees and stuff, but what they really lack is they do not are really concerned about the graduate outcomes. Because at the end of the day, you do not want to be stuck around in restaurant, like washing dishes.
With a degree.
Right. Right? So in our institutions, what we do is every year, once the graduate is out of the campus, we go out and speak to all these graduates and understand the status that they're in.
Right.
And what we found for the past 3 years is 97% of the students who've enrolled into our campuses go out and do either jobs or they go on and pursue their master's degree.
Oh, okay.
So simply put, 100 students come into our system and 97 of them either get a job or they go on pursuing their master's degree and further education.
Right. That sounds amazing. Like the rate itself speaks volumes of how NAVITAS, goes that step further in ensuring all the students are, getting jobs.
Yes.
Because like getting the degree is just, half the battle fought, right?
Yeah.
The actual the real thing is getting the job and really getting to soak into the culture of the country. So yeah, I think NAVITAS is doing a great job in that aspect. So now, since we are almost towards the end of the interview, so what advice would you give to students who are looking to study abroad, and if I have missed out on anything, if you would want to mention that as well?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. It was amazing. The only thing that I really urge our Nepali students to focus is to really calculate the ROI, the return on investment on their degrees.
Right.
It's one aspect to actually understand the tuition fees and the costs incurred throughout the degree, but it's another aspect to really find out that how is their investment coming after, let's say, 4 or 5 years down the line, right? And I think if you talk about ROI, then we are really good institution, because like I said, 97% of our graduates, they go on and pursue either masters or they get a full-time job from their like aspired institutions, right? So in terms of ROI, if you're looking through that lens, I think then it makes sense to like incur and get a little slightly expensive degree, right? Another thing that I really urge our Nepali students is to really focus on IELTS, because let's be clear, right? So we are going into a completely different terrain, and primarily the spoken language is English. And if you're not doing English, then it really deters you from getting really good opportunities.
Definitely.
So I think the rigor of IELTS, it really prepares you to like soaking yourself into really industrial experience, the education experience, and it really adds value. So yeah, you can definitely reach out to these wonderful guys for IELTS and for the consultation as well. And yes, Study Square is our proud partner. So we are really selective of the partners that we work with, and Study Square is one of the few institutions that we work with in Nepal. So if you have any queries regarding Netherlands, France, Germany, and UK, I can definitely be here and like talk to you one-on-one and definitely help you out.
Right. That's great, and thank you for the shout out as well. So it was great talking to you, Mr. Thapa, and I'm sure NAVITAS is, going to get a lot more students from us as well. And again, thanks a lot for, shedding light on the incredible opportunities that NAVITAS has to offer for all the students opting for Europe, UK, or anywhere across the globe, right? So anyone, if you're interested in, exploring your options through NAVITAS, feel free to visit us at Gyaneshwar, or, comment down your queries in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated. So again, thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming here and giving us your time, and it was great talking to you.
Thank you, it was lovely.
All right, so we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.